Hello and welcome. Thank you for listening. My name is Sarah Baumert. I'm a yoga teacher, Feldenkrais practitioner, and host of the Sarah B. Yoga podcast. The Sarah B. Yoga podcast and my practice, Body Matter, is an interdisciplinary learning space where we explore the many ways that movement can help facilitate body acceptance and awareness, reduce pain and stress, regulate the nervous system, and build strength and ease. My teaching plays with the synthesis of Feldenkrais awareness through movement lessons, traditional yoga asana, creative imagery, breathing exercises, self-massage, and a compassionate mindset to help you feel a greater sense of ease and comfort in yourself. Sarah B. Yoga and Body Matter have a lot of other program offerings. These podcasts are just a taste of my teaching. Each week I teach a range of online classes, including a gentle yoga class, a level 2 class for more advanced students, and Feldenkrais classes with monthly themes, anatomy lessons, and Q&A sessions for more in-depth study. I have 2 new online series offerings for the fall. A Feldenkrais series titled Coming to Your Senses, an exploration of the spaces of the eyes, the mouth, jaw, ears, vocal and breathing apparatus. And my second course, Wakeful Body, the blending of yoga and Feldenkrais on Monday nights. As one student recently described Monday nights, that felt like I just gave myself a massage. So these fall classes will be a continuation of some fan favorite stretching sequences that incorporate bolsters and other props to enhance the poses. There is still plenty of time to join these courses live or via the course recordings. You can find more information about these offerings in the show notes. Okay, on to today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Hello, and welcome to the Sarah B. Yoga podcast. This podcast is an intersection of my yoga teaching and my training in the Feldenkrais method. Today's class is a Yoga Nidra practice with the intention to support feelings of overwhelm and grief. You may have noticed that I have not posted too many episodes this year. In late January, my dad was in the ICU, and then he was in and out of the hospital for about 2 months. And he's doing okay now and recovering from a heart surgery. And while I was supporting my parents and trying to keep my business afloat, I just didn't have the energetic capacity to focus on my podcast offerings. But during that time, I appreciated these small moments that I had to lie on the floor and listen deeply to what I was feeling in my body, emotionally and physically. And sometimes I maybe would do a Feldenkrais awareness through movement lesson or a Yoga Nidra class and get a little bit of rest that I needed. And those short bouts of rest were a really necessary part of staying healthy for me. So I wanted to craft a Yoga Nidra class for anyone in need of deep rest, anyone that might be feeling grief or other strong emotions. Yoga Nidra is a guided shavasana. The practice draws our attention inwards, and so you may slip between these states of wakefulness and sleep. And it's okay to fall asleep during Yoga Nidra. The practice is a really concrete way to bring rest into your life. So welcome as we dedicate this time and space to open into your grief or your emotional body as much as you would like. And this could be any kind of grief, any sense of loss you may be experiencing in your life, maybe someone close to you or a relationship, a job, an opportunity. And whatever grief is arising for you is welcome to be the focus of your practice today. To acknowledge its presence and to be present with it however you are comfortable. So first, you can begin to find a comfortable space where you'll be able to rest in Shavasana without any sort of distractions. And really tend to yourself and your comfort in these opening moments. So take the time you need to gather any props. That may mean you press pause on the recording. You might need some padding, something to lie on, whether it's a blanket or a yoga mat, and then anything else you need so that you're warm and comfortable. So grab those blankets, pillows, cushions, so that you really feel a rich, nourishing holding from the props that you're resting with. You may also want to turn the lights down or grab an eye pillow to use if you have one. And so when you're ready, come to lie on your back. And let the eyes close. Let the arms be away enough from the body that you feel like the shoulders can rest and the legs can relax open. You can place an eye pillow over the eyes if that's comfortable for you. And begin to feel your body settle in. Just choosing now to let a light attention settle onto my voice. Knowing that you can let go of my voice whenever you want through this practice. And knowing that if you need to, you can open your eyes or move around as you need to in order to tend to your sense of ease. And this is your practice. There's no way to do it wrong. So however the practice unfolds for you is just as it should be. And you are welcome here, resting down onto the earth. If you're clearly feeling grief in your life right now, I invite you to give yourself a moment and ground yourself to whatever your body is feeling. Open to your senses. Maybe send a few breaths out your mouth with a sigh to release any obvious tension you may have. And while this practice is dedicated to sensations of grief, we might see them, feel them. We're not here to change, but just to make space, just to be with the feelings in the way we would like to in this moment. Turn to the sensations of the body, a soft attention to the physical body. Place your body in this moment by feeling all of the places that the body meets the earth. The firm, welcoming support from the ground and the props. Allow the mind to move freely as it notices all the places where the body makes contact. Feel that quality of support. The sensations of weight, of heaviness, and deep contact with the floor. Now, the practice of Yoga Nidra uses a sankalpa. This is an intention that will act like a guide throughout the practice. It's a positive statement, and I invite you to repeat this statement to yourself in your mind. I acknowledge my grief. My grief is a guide. Grief keeps the heart fluid and soft, which helps make compassion possible. I acknowledge my grief. My grief is a guide. Grief keeps the heart fluid, and soft, which helps make compassion possible. Now let your attention gently move towards the breath. Feel the shape of your breath. Feel where in your body you feel the breath move you. And let the breath be a source of comfort, a means of bringing a sense of ease. Gently listening as you breathe in, feeling a gentle expansion in your torso, and feeling the breath out guide you to soften back into the support of the floor beneath you. And this resource of the breath is always there for you to reconnect with your sense of well-being. Now we'll do a meditation using the mental screen of the mind. For some people, this mental screen is just in front of the eyes. For other people, it is at the front of their forehead. So go to the place where you see visualizations in your mind. Where do you play mental movies? Where is it that you see images and memories? Where do you visualize faces? So go to that place where you see these images in your mind. And as you continue to rest, bring to mind a place that for you is a sanctuary or a safe place. You may imagine a place that makes you feel at home. It may include a person or a pet. And remember or imagine a time where you felt wholeness, a sense of well-being, where you felt love. And remember this scene, this place or situation that brings you comfort. As if you were actually seeing the colors and shapes with your eyes. So in this moment, see the scene in front of you. The scene where you felt love, where you felt a sense of well-being. And notice whatever sounds are in the space. Maybe you notice sensations from textures, colors, or temperature. Maybe there are even smells or tastes. And continue to invite that feeling of wholeness, of well-being. And notice where in your body you feel this. Now you can always come back to this place whenever you feel like you need it. If anything ever feels unsafe during this practice, you can come back to this place by using your senses. Now let's repeat our intention together again and allow rest to take over. I acknowledge my grief. My grief is a guide. Grief keeps the heart fluid and soft, which helps make compassion possible. Again, begin to connect yourself to the feeling of your body. Recognize the body as sensation. and be the witness of the body. Invite yourself to relax as you feel the sensation of your mouth, your lips, your tongue. Recognize the tongue simply as sensation. Your eyes, your ears. Feel the sensation of your nose. Welcome the sensation of the front of your face, from your forehead to your chin, from ear to ear. Feel your entire face. Simply welcome it as sensation. Recognize it as sensation. And your only job in this moment is to witness your face as sensation. Relax as you feel the top of your head and the back of your head. And there's nothing to do but experience your head as sensation. Feel behind your ears, your scalp. Feel your entire head is sensation. Nothing to do, nothing to change. You're simply experiencing your head as sensation. And follow the sensation down your neck to the back of your shoulders. And trace the sensation of your body down the arms, to the elbows, the forearms, to the hands. Sense your left hand, the center of the palm, the left thumb, index finger, middle finger, fourth finger, little finger. And as you bring your awareness to these parts of your being, simply invite them to relax. Simply witnessing your left hand as sensation. Nothing to do or change. Just noticing its presence. Now begin to notice your right hand, the center of the right palm, right thumb, index finger, middle finger, fourth finger, little finger. Experiencing your right hand merely as sensation. Being the witness to the sensation of the right hand. And feel the left hand again. And the right hand. Feel both hands simultaneously. Feel them as one thing, aware of both hands simultaneously. And notice whatever you happen to be aware of in this moment. Sensations will come and go, but what doesn't change is your awareness. Now feel the sensation of the chest. Feel yourself as the sensation of chest and heart. And as you linger on the sensation of your heart, If anything spontaneously arises, be that an emotion or a felt sense of lightness or heaviness, openness or tightness, just remember we're welcoming sensation, recognizing sensation, and listening, witnessing. And if at any time anything feels challenging or something you don't want to work on, go back in your mind to that comforting space or time, using your senses to feel where you felt wholeness and well-being. Otherwise, if it feels safe, bring the attention to the sensation of the heart and to the belly. Feel the front of the belly and the back of the belly. Feel your spine, your ribs. Welcome your entire torso as sensation. Your chest, belly, your back. Feel yourself becoming increasingly more relaxed as you simply witness yourself feeling the sensation of body. You are awareness itself, experiencing itself as the sensation of body. And now bring your attention to the sensations of your pelvis. The front of the pelvis, the back of the pelvis, the two sides of the pelvis. Sensing the bony structure of the pelvis. And feel the breath move and the belly gently soften and expand as you inhale. And you may even feel the breath move all the way down towards your pelvis. Tracking the sensations as you move your awareness from your pelvis down your legs to your knees. The sensation from knees to ankles, from ankles to feet. Sense the sole of your left foot, your left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. And your right foot, the sole of the right foot, the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. And now we will play with opposites. This helps to relax the mind by realizing the temporary nature of sensations. So feel into the heaviness of the body. That heavy state when you release your whole body into the support of the earth beneath you. Conjure up the feeling of heaviness. The feeling of using absolutely no effort. Heavy, like rock, a boulder. Dense, dropping. And now feel just the left side from head to toe, heavy. The left leg, left shoulder, heavy. And now the right side, heavy. The right leg, the right pelvis, the right shoulder, heavy. Feel the whole body heavy. And now feel the opposite sensation of weightlessness. Feeling the space within the body that is weightless. Space in the skull. Space in the chest. Buoyant, like a feather. This space in the pelvis and space in the legs. Effortless and unencumbered. Your whole body is becoming light, almost weightless, like a fluffy cloud. Notice whatever you're aware of in this moment, internally or externally, sensation or feelings in your body or thoughts or emotions, and welcome that, whatever you're experiencing. Remember, you're simply the witness to all the sensations or thoughts. I acknowledge my grief. My grief is a guide. Grief keeps the heart fluid and soft, which makes compassion possible. And notice in this moment whatever energy you feel in your body right now. Notice the sensations that are present in the hands and in the feet. And notice the subtle sensations of breath gently rippling in and out. And notice how the inner experience can be very dynamic, always changing. You may see colors. Do your sensations have a color or a vibration to them? Feeling what feels safe in this moment. Remember or recognize how grief feels in your energetic body. And be in this place of relaxed awareness. And invite grief to the surface for a moment, to simply observe it, to welcome it in. Recognize grief as a sensation, as energy, as an emotion. Nothing more, nothing less. And just be the witness to this energy. Your grief may have a color, a specific sensation. You're not trying to fix it or change it, but rather learn to welcome it and be the witness of it. Seeing if you can be curious about the feeling of grief without attachment. And now begin to conceptualize the opposite of grief. What is the opposite of grief for you? Remember or imagine what that feels like. Notice what kind of energy it has and where you feel that in your body. What is the opposite of grief? can you invite that to the surface? Joy, contentment, gratitude. And remember or imagine what that feels like in your body. Does it feel like it has a color or a vibration? And then let that go and feel for a moment, can you hold the sensation of grief and its opposite at the same time? Hold grief and its opposite at the same time. And this doesn't need to make sense. It might be hard to conceptualize. Feeling like you're holding grief in one hand and its opposite in the other, but you're holding them simultaneously. And allow the sensation of grief to come and go, as does its opposite. And let this be in your awareness. Your awareness is larger than the grief. Your awareness is larger than the joy, the contentment. But you can hold both of them. And through your Yoga Nidra practice, you simply allow yourself to welcome, to recognize, to listen to all the ways that grief affects your being. So in this moment, simply welcome whatever you're thinking around grief, whatever thoughts or memories come up. Practice being the witness. And just like emotions, the thoughts will come and go. And you let your awareness be larger than these thoughts. I acknowledge my grief. My grief is a guide. Grief keeps the heart fluid and soft, which helps make compassion possible. And return your awareness to the sensation of the whole body. And begin to visualize the room that you are in. Visualize the four walls, the ceiling, the floor. And picture your body lying on the floor. See yourself. Now visualize a moment when your grief has passed you. It has passed you by and it has been replaced with a loving compassion, a knowledge of your strength and your increased wisdom. Now that visualization, see it not as if you're watching it on a screen, but as though you're seeing it with your own eyes, sensing it, hearing it with your ears, smelling the scene with your nostrils, feeling in your heart and with your body. And this is this moment when grief has passed you by and it's been replaced with the feeling of gratitude, an awareness of gratitude. You're experiencing this vision as a moment when grief has passed you by. Now I invite you to remember or imagine what it feels like to have joy in your life. Remember or imagine pleasure and joy and feel it in your body. Notice exactly where you feel it. Tap into your senses again. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Notice how in your body you feel these things, welcoming, listening to them, experiencing the sensation of your body meeting the floor. And feel the air come in and out of your nostrils. Sense the temperature of the air as it enters and exits. Notice whatever you're most aware of in the sensation of your body. You can gently revisit the place where it feels like grief lives in your body. And you may be curious as to whether or not anything feels like it has changed. And remember the scene, the place or situation that brings you comfort. The place you envisioned at the beginning of the Yoga Nidra. Remember the time when you felt a wholeness, a calm, a sense of well-being. Remember the scene with the smells and the tastes. And now let's repeat our intention together. I acknowledge my grief. My grief is a guide. Grief keeps the heart fluid and soft, which helps make compassion possible. And allow yourself to completely let go and drop. Dropping into Shavasana. Completely let go of your identities and labels. And you can allow yourself to simply float or drift or expand into the vast open space. And in a few moments, we will finish our Yoga Nidra practice. I'll end with a quote from Francis Weller. The work of the mature person is to carry grief in one hand and gratitude in the other, and to be stretched largely by them. How much sorrow can I hold? That's how much gratitude I can give. If I carry only grief, I'll bend towards cynicism and despair. If I have only gratitude, I'll become saccharine and won't develop much compassion for other people's suffering. Grief keeps the heart fluid and soft, which helps make compassion possible. And slowly transition out of your meditation. And just once again, notice your body lying peacefully in Shavasana. And allow your breath to naturally deepen. Transition back to wakefulness, just noticing how you feel. And this is a practice you can come back to time and time again. And in a moment, I'll count down from 5, and that will signal the end of our Yoga Nidra practice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you enjoying this podcast? I've chosen to offer these audio recordings freely for over 15 years. I do this because research shows yoga, Yoga Nidra, and Feldenkrais to be valuable practices, those which I would like to share widely. Dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, has always been a pillar of my business. And more generally, Dana is the inclination to give without expecting any form of repayment. It does, however, take a fair amount of time, effort, and cost to maintain and keep the podcasts available. If you feel you've benefited from what you've learned from these classes, then please do consider making a contribution towards the maintenance and upkeep of the classes. It will help ensure that I can continue to offer the podcast classes freely and keep generating new material. Give what you can, give what feels good. If it's too little, it won't feel good. If it's too much, it won't feel good. Links to support the show monetarily can be found in the show notes. And other ways to give include sharing the podcast with others, leaving a 5-star rating and review, or just sending me an email with how the classes have affected you. Thanks so much.